How you doing?
Good. How about you? Good.
Oh, it's good to be back. Back to work. For us, we go 1-0 this week. Right mentality. Had a great practice this morning. Our guys are working hard, and they bought in. They understand exactly where we're at. Need to be better. Played a tough game versus Ole Miss, but these guys are right back at it. And now what we got to do is just make sure that we detail the work that needs to be done in order to head up or head down at the middle and play a great football game. As I look at this middle team, Coach Doc has done a great job of assembling talent. He's got a great quarterback. Obviously it's his son, but let me tell you something. He's a good quarterback. Right now he's throwing at about 70%. I like what he does in the pocket. He's poised. He can make all the throws. Ed Marquise and his receiver, batting is unbelievable. A talented receiver, game breaker, explosive. He can make some plays. And as I look at what they have around that group, it's a really good football team. So our football team's excited to play. We've talked about exactly what this is going to look like for us going into another hostile environment. We look to play a great game, and every week, man, we prepare this football team and try to go play its best ball game of the year. So we look forward to the challenge, and I'll take any questions.
When's the last time you had back-to-back games against teams that have posted 70 points multiple times in a season?
I can't remember. It's obviously in this day and age of air raid football and what you see, there's points being scored all around you. We just focus on the opponent at hand, but I tell you what, the numbers are up there. I haven't seen it in a long time, but as you look across the country, there's teams posting it every week. So it's always a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for us, but we're going to be prepared.
You got some good pressure on Chad Kelly last night, and that led to some interceptions. Mm-hmm. This week you face a young quarterback. Is that the biggest factor in how much you're going to blitz and how much pressure you're going to bring the youth of the quarterback?
I just look at the everything involved, the quarterback, everything around the quarterback, the ability of the guys outside to make plays, the running game, and how that affects you. So it's looking at what they do. And when you look at middle is pretty efficient. They've been able to do a pretty good job. They played Alabama tough. They played Illinois tough. And they are explosive. The thing that we need to make sure of is that we take care of us. So we'll line up, we'll understand who they are, they'll know who we are, and we're going to play a great football game.
Any chance you get Nigel Bowden for Saturday?
As of right now, Nigel hasn't been back. And with that, when he comes back, we'll welcome him. But at the end of the day, he's not here.
Does Brent Stockstill, it looks like he releases the ball quickly, gets the ball out of his hand. How much is that faster than other teams you've seen in the release of the ball, and how does that affect your pressure?
Extremely quick release. You look at him, he reads defense as well. He's been well coached. He understands where he's going. He understands his read progression. And like most spread teams, he's going to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So for us, we need to make sure that we get our hands up defensively. If the pressure comes, we need to make sure we try to get home. But more than that, we got to confuse him with looks.
Derek, the last couple of games, Johnny, the bad balls he's thrown have been almost non-existent. What's the difference between him the first two games when he threw into coverage and what clicked the last two now that he's not?
Maturity. He's working hard. He's working hard every day, and he's doing a great job of just bringing him along. And the biggest thing that Johnny's doing, he's settling into his personnel and playing within himself. And I believe that's important. He trusts the guys around him. He doesn't feel like he's got to do it all. And he's staying within the process. And I think as long as you can stay within the process, it keeps you out of harm's way. And he's been able to do that for us the last 2 weeks.
Western Kentucky was tempo, Ole Miss is tempo, Middle is tempo.
Right.
Are we lumping those together too much, or are those all pretty similar?
They're similar. The speed goes fast. Everybody has some tempo. The biggest difference are the matchups. How do you see yourself versus their tight end? Their tight end is pretty good, 6'5", extremely tough matchup. He gets down the field. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with trying to lump everybody into the same group, because the matchups are where you have to be able to hold up. And I believe, they give us some matchup problems, but I like the challenge.
You guys played tough against Ole Miss last week. Did you feel like the team took away a lot of positives going in to kind of carry over going into MTSU, even though the result wasn't there?
Yeah, there's some positive carryover. I thought, our guys went into a hostile environment and played tough. But I want to make this known. Again, this football team is going to play to win, and that's just where we're at. There are no moral victories for us. This team wants to win ball games, and we're going to put ourselves in position to win ball games. We've got to execute a little better, and that's what they took out of this game. We were close, but we didn't execute well enough. A couple of missed opportunities, a couple of chances to change this game around, and we missed on those. And so with that, these guys are right back to work, working extremely hard, and they get it. They know we're close. But once this group breaks through, sky's the limit.
You talked about how turnovers tend to come in bunches.
Right.
Getting a couple the other night, how confident are you that more are coming this week and down the line now?
We actually had more in practice last week, and I believe how you practice is how you play. With that, this week it started off pretty good as well. So I like what our guys are doing. They're focusing on the mechanics and the techniques that they need to have in order to make those things happen. We're getting hats to the ball. Guys are really stripping ball carriers. We're playing the ball well. We're playing with a little more vision, and you do that when you can play a little more zone and then man coverage. So I like where these guys are. We're getting better at it, but it all starts in practice. How you practice is how you play.
Derek, we were instructed to wish you happy birthday. Probably this time, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Secondly, a unique situation, 2 FBS teams in this market, and it's a 30-mile road trip for you. Just talk about more of a bigger picture thing of playing another school within your market that's actually going after a lot of the same fans that you are.
For us, I believe middle is a great program. Coach Stock's done a great job of building his program, and whether it's Coach Stock, whether it's Western Kentucky, these programs are all competitive programs. We sit in the SEC. We work extremely hard to try to make sure that we can uphold our brand. And you know what? That's just the state of college football. And there's schools all across the country in certain markets with other schools. I think we're all programs trying to make sure we play well, we educate our kids, and we do it in a way that's representative of our universities and what our mission statements are. So in terms of the overall the gist of what's happening, we're all programs trying to ascend.
Is this a game, though, you'd like to see regularly? I mean, it's kind of been fits and starts in terms of this series, in terms of playing. Would you like to see it be played fairly consistently?
Hey, man, I wouldn't mind at all. I think it's an opportunity for our fan base, in the Middle Tennessee fan base, to get a chance to see the schools that they went to school at, or when they represent or they watch. It's great for the fans. So let's give the fans what they want. They want to see a great football game. We're going to give them one.
The fan base sees something that's more than just this game. Maybe the rivalry aspect, but neither coach, nobody on either team's ever faced each other. So do you stay away from that talk at all with your team of talking about the regional side of it, or is it just a game?
I do. It is just a game. I mean, it's the game that we have to play, and it's a game that we're preparing our best to make sure that we put ourselves in a competitive situation where we can go out there and play our best football. So I don't get caught up in all the fonder about the game. I think it's important to the fans. I think it's important to the cities. Obviously, man, we're neighbors. So it's great for the city, but for our players, it's the next football game, in a journey. So for us, we got to be about the next contest. We're trying to go 1-0 this week, and that's exactly where we're going to stay.
Derek, happy 35th birthday, by the way. But
thank you.
But with the
you're
welcome. The punt, the Ole Miss muff the other night. The rule being what it is that something that have you had a chance to think about it? Is that something where maybe it's worth talking about changing a rule that benefits a player for making a mistake?
We'll look at those things at the end of the year. That's gone now, and with that, the rule is the rule. So I believe what you do is you continue to play the games that are in front of you. And there's a lot to be learned when you look in the rearview mirror after the season's done. But right now, my focus can't be on what just occurred, what just happened. I believe that's up to the SEC and our referees, during the offseason to make sure that the rules really reflect, the state of the game and what's transpired. So for me, again, I stay in the here and now. Today's Tuesday, and I'm 46 years young.
Well, see, I got wrong information from somebody.
We usually don't see you with glasses in here though. Are the eyes starting to go? Is that?
That happens. you keep looking at your computer. Nowadays, when I read more than I used to, obviously, and when you're reading the fine print, sometimes it gets a little blurry. So that just means I'm starting to get a little gray. So age and wisdom, I'll take it.
Derek, Openshaw's punt when it's blocked the other night, is that the protection or is that him just taking too long to get the ball off?
We had a glitch in the protection, so he got it off in 1.9, and that's around where you want to be. We didn't see a schematical change by the defense quickly enough, and our eyes didn't cut out, and so we were able to turn a guy loose off the edge, and a punt gets blocked. And I believe this. I believe defensively we got to be better in sudden change. That's what it comes down to. I want the punt team to be better, but defensively, anytime you get a chance to defend a blade of grass, that's what you got to do.
Is Torrin McGaster starting to be maybe a little bit of a shutdown corner for you guys?
Yeah, I'm confident in Torrin. I like who he is. I love the way he practices. He's got energy to boot. He's my type of guy, and with that, he has the right mentality outside. Gunfighters get shot. He had a couple of plays, hit on him, but the one thing about him, he competes all the time, and that's what you're looking for. And I'm starting to get more and more of it from this football team. These guys, are competitive. They want to play hard, and it's starting to become infectious in the locker room. So I like what he is, what he's becoming, and what he brings to the table for our young DBs.
Anytime you repeat something, obviously you're going to get better at it. This is your third tempo offense you've gone against. Do you think just that part of it has made your guys kind of get better at your plan?
It helps you focus on the mechanics of what you need to do. Again, we're not a finished product by any means. There's still things to clean up from that last game that sort of moved to this practice, this week of practice, and we're getting better at understanding exactly what's happening, what our substitution pattern needs to be, how we need to change our signals and what's going on there. But I think our game mechanics are getting much better as we continue to push through the season, and that's just a product of playing those teams back to back to back, because that part of it really doesn't change. The matchup changes for you week to week, but really the mechanics of the game are very much the same.
There's
Openshaw is
Go ahead.
looking for edge and motivation and things like that during a game week. Is the fact that you guys are underdogs in this game lost on you? Do you use that as kind of a slap in the face?
For us, we don't look at that, and we don't need that as motivation. What motivates us is playing to win. That's when you get caught up in all the other stuff, then that means that you care about that. We don't care about what the line is. We care about the opportunity. We care about the chance to get out there and continue to improve this football team. And these guys are doing just that. So I tell these guys, stay in the pocket. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna continue to focus on things that matter, and what matters is how we practice.
Openshaw, as place kickers, made some big kicks.
Right.
He's also missed one, I think, every game. How do you rate his performance thus far in that regard?
I rated it solid. He wants to be better. We need him to be better. But Tommy is taking on more this year. He's our punter. He's our kicker. He's been called to be the kickoff guy at times. What I like about him is that right now he's in a good groove. He understands what's happening in front of him. I'm not going to press him to do anything more than what he's doing. He understands his mechanics and what needs to change. And I'm not a kicking coach, but I am a football coach, and I tell him all the time, be big in the moment. This football team needs you to be big in the moment. So continue to work hard, and when the situations come, hey, just own it. And he's working to do that. So I like where he is.
Do you expect a close game?
I expect a good game.
How so? Competitive?
Two good football teams working to try to get a win. And so with that, we're gonna play 60 minutes. It's gonna be one between the white lines, and so let's let this thing get kicked off, and when it's done, you know, you'll be able to, you know, figure out, you know, what the spread, what the line, or whatever it all means. I just know when this team's ready to play.
Derek, that front seven of Ole Miss was a pretty tough matchup. Seemed like your offensive line was really improved on Saturday against them.
Well, you have to give the, you know, offensive line credit. You got to be able to, you know, look at what Johnny and Shoy. You know, it was great to see Shoy back. You know, finally, you know, playing, you know, at a level that we all expected him to play at. I believe, you know, our offensive line fought hard, and I think getting the ball out of Johnny's hands, you know, quickly, and Johnny being able to extend plays, you know, gives us a chance every week, I mean, to be a football team that can make some hay. So I believe right now that the offensive line is growing and getting better every week. Pulley has done a great job of leading this group, and I think his senior leadership is what's holding this group together. So we're just going to continue to help these guys, these young guys come along, and we'll play with the group that we got, and I like it.
One more question. You mentioned Troy. Is he a guy on offense that needs to have a good game for this offense to work the way that Andy Ludwig needs it to work?
It works better when he's that guy. Tight end to me is always a quarterback's best friend. You know, you work between the hashes, you do the dirty work. A lot of times guys get more yards, but you know, Troy's a guy that can move the chains. And when you have balance like that, then it spreads the field. It makes Trent Sherfield better. It makes Caleb Scott better. It gives Ralph Webb a chance to get in between the tackles and do what he does. So I think all around, the balance of what, you know, our group talent-wise brings to the table is sort of starting to grow. But Shoy is a big piece of that, so I'm just glad he's doing what he's doing.
Coach, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, appreciate it.